What's up, guys? Bring Me the Boa here, and yeah, it's good to be filming again. Before this, I was filming an outro for a video that should have came out months ago, and then it turned out to work well. But hoping the lighting doesn't look that weird or that off. I'm trying some different things, filming during different parts of the day. So I currently have my blinds open with my light on. I'm just seeing, because I was told by a friend that I need to work on the lighting a little bit, so hoping using natural daylight will help a little with augmenting the amount of light in the room. But I got something new. A few days ago, or no, about a week ago, I'm actually really excited to talk about this snake, because this isn't just a new snake. This is a new species for me, and kind of a different type of snake. In terms of like body structure and stuff and behavior patterns, this is something different for me. So without further ado, I will introduce the snake. Which these species, or well, this species as well as others that are closely related to it, are known for being hostile and aggressive. With my experience with them so far, I've had no issues handling these snakes. And I have a much younger one, but I've held and handled some very large ones. So I'll stop stepping around it, and I'll show you. This is my new blood python. I think it's a female, but I'm still going to figure out how to sex these and make sure that that's accurate. But, oh wow, the sunlight's actually really helping bringing those colors out, because the light, instead of just coming from up top, is coming from behind the camera. But, yeah, she's a really pretty snake. I'm guessing it's a she, but the name I picked for this snake is Vega, which is, if any of you played Doom Eternal, or Doom 2016 for that matter, you know what Vega, or who Vega is. I just thought it would be a funny name, and I wanted to name something that was like Doom themed, just because, you know, blood python, it sounds like brutal and whatnot, just because blood's in the name. But, oh, that's a good, yeah, you strike that pose. But as you can see, I'm not having any real issues handling this snake. It's a real cute snake. Rubbing her cheeks. So, for those of you who didn't know, I worked at the Arizona Reptile Center for a bit. I think it was like just after I was done working there, which I'll go into that whole thing in another video. And wording it like that makes it sound bad. I didn't have a bad reason for leaving. Just I couldn't work there just because of school, essentially. I just needed more time for school, and I needed a job that was closer. But I'll go into my whole working experience with that in another video on its own. But so we got these in when I was working there, and we went in for the sale because my mom originally wanted this exact one, and well, she bit my mom like 4 times, and tried to bite one of my coworkers in the face. So I have something I have to investigate. I'll be right back. I'll just edit this out real quick. But I'll keep talking about it, I guess, as I investigate what I think I just saw. Anywho, I'm back from the jump cut. So, hi. Sticking your tongue out. Beep, 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 beep. Well, I love these snakes. There was this large, chunky red female that I was looking at getting, much larger than this, but I just don't have the room. But there's a decent sized blood python female, red colored. I want to say it was a T positive albino female. And that thing, I loved that snake. It was so cool. But I ended up getting this one instead because I know I'll have the space for this because the larger ones were about 8 years older than this one. So if it takes 8 years to reach that size, I'm fine with that. So it'll give me time to upgrade cages and whatnot from this bin that she's in into larger things. And obviously by 8 years, I'm going to be done with college, so not going to have to worry as much about space at that point. But this is just a really neat addition. This is something I was never really anticipating buying. I was genuinely curious about this species of snake for a while, but I never really looked into them. Same with viper boas. I was really intrigued by them because they're similar. They're very similar. Where they're short, stout snakes. Like this snake shouldn't get longer than 6 feet, which it's not that bad. But on average, they stay around 5.5 feet, if I'm remembering correctly. But they can weigh up to 25 pounds. So Hercules, just so you know, is 5.5 feet. And she, I don't think, to be honest, I don't know my grams to pounds, but I'm willing to bet that Hercules, like 2 of Vega would equal a Hercules probably. 2 or 3 Vegas would equal a Hercules. And it's probably closer to 3. But she's not full grown. When she gets full grown, she's going to weigh multiple Hercules. So it's weird to think about because she's going to be the same length as Hercules roughly. But in terms of weight, is going to be huge. Because at the age of 8 or 9, I think all the ones at the store we had were 8. They were all about like 10-15 pounds, about. So that's not bad by any means. But so this chunky girl is going to get to be about that big. I'm really excited to also watch the color change that occurs. Okay, well, apparently my investigation wasn't good enough. I'm gonna have to edit that out too. But actually no, I'll investigate in a second. But these snakes so far, my first impressions, because I'm just gonna probably title this "New Pet First Impressions" or whatever, or something like that probably. But my first impressions with the short-tailed boa, or not short-tailed boa, short-tailed python species has been pretty positive. I also got to hold a Sumatran, a VPI Sumatran, while I was working, and I loved that thing. I would have bought the Sumatran if I had the space, because they're just gorgeous, all black and gray, but with a very similar stout body as this, because they're closely related. The Sumatrans, blood pythons, and Borneo short-tailed pythons are all closely related. In fact, they all were believed to be a subspecies of the Borneo short-tailed. So it's kind of like with the hognoses with the westerns, and like how everyone thought Mexican and dusky hognoses were the same as a western hognose. It's kind of like that. They're really closely related, but they are in fact different species. But so far, I really am digging this snake. I haven't had it even try to bite me a single time, and that's including me hand feeding it, which I don't recommend hand feeding things like snakes that often, just because of the potential you getting bit. Speaking of which, there's something out. I knew there was something out. My bearded dragon scared it. Mercury, what am I going to do with you? Mercury is a good warning system when there are things afoot, but when they're afoot, she tends to scare them. But that's pretty much it. That's the end of my first impressions. I haven't really collected enough data and experience with these snakes to recommend them to anybody, but so far, my experience with all of them, including some that were more nippy towards my coworkers and have actually bit my coworkers, have not bitten me, or nor did they try to, nor did they really show any agitation or aggression when I would pick them up. I don't know if it's just because of how I pick them up, or as my coworkers would say, my big meaty claws, because apparently I have beefy hands for their size. They're beefy. I don't know if that's it, and I'm just, because of my beefy hands, there's more like surface area to support the snakes. I've got no clue. I've had no issues with any of the short tail species that I've held. And I've had none with this one that I've kept as a pet. So, got no clue. But for now, Vega's going to be the only short tail species and individual that I keep. Whenever, because I am intending on getting another short tail, just it's not going to be in the close future, but whenever I do get another one, it's more than likely going to be a Sumatran, because I've fallen in love with that gorgeous black and gray color mixed with those gorgeous eyes, because their eyes are pretty similar in color as the top of her eyes, which I don't know if they're shown that well, but they're like a kind of like gold metallic-y color. The Sumatrans are like that, but it's all solidly like that orange gold metallic color, whereas hers are half, on the lower half, are like a dark brown black color. So yeah, that's my first impressions on the red-tailed boa so far. Feeding's been easy. I realized the first meal I gave her was too big, so I got her a weaned mouse instead, and that worked out just fine. So next meal or two is probably going to be that until she gets a little bit bigger. But I'll keep doing impressions. I think I'm going to do that with all my snakes, of current impressions on them, of like my opinions, just to let you guys know what you want to buy. Especially with hognoses, I'm still, with some of them, learning their personalities, especially the Mexican hognoses, despite having them for so long now. I haven't really been able to handle them just because they like to do the munch. So now that they're starting to level out a little bit in terms of their hunger, I'm starting to get a better grasp on their personality. But that is mainly it, you guys. This is my impressions on the red-tailed boa. Not red-tailed boa. Why did I say that? The blood python. The blood python. Which is ironic. My channel is Bring Me the Boa, and I have no boas. But anyway, we're not going to dissect that now. This is my... I'm going to get it correct, I promise. My impressions on blood pythons, and some, in terms of handling experience, with some of the short-tailed species. And with that, before I mess up again, I will see you guys in the next video, where I will discuss the uploaded schedule, or the modified upload schedule coming in October.